Okay, thank you so much, Bill. A new survey finds that nearly 1 in 6 Ontarians have thought about breaking up or even considered a divorce due to strains in their relationship due to financial pressure.
That's about 16% of the population. So joining us live this morning for a closer look is Money Mentor CEO Stacy Yanchuk Oleksy. Stacy, thanks for joining us this morning to talk about this. I mean, that's not an insignificant number. I mean, 1 in 6 sounds maybe low, but 16% of people thinking, hey, I don't like the way the money's going here, causes a whole bunch of stress here. What are you finding people are either doing or not doing when it comes to those conversations surrounding money?
Yeah, great question. Good morning. I think what people are not doing is talking about money, right? Because money's complicated. It's never just about dollars and cents. It's about how you feel about it. It's about your history. How were you raised with money with your parents? What are your triggers? What are your goals? What are your values, right? And those are all just mine. But as I try and combine that with my partner, you can appreciate there's a lot of opportunity for conflict.
Yeah, and when you first start dating someone or getting together, because money's kind of a taboo thing to talk about, you kind of shy away from it. But there are all kinds of issues. If one partner is spending more money than the other, if one person works, the other doesn't. I mean, that goes beyond the household budget. It can really lead to trust issues, resentment, all kinds of things. So what are you finding in this survey in terms of what are the factors that kind of negatively affect a relationship when it comes to not being on the same page about money?
Sure. We're finding that couples are fighting about a lot of things. They're certainly fighting about day-to-day spending as well as lack of savings, right? And you can see that that's what's happening in Canada. People are worried about their money and cost of living. It's expensive, right? A bag of apples is $9 and that doesn't come with caramel. It's just apples, right? And so that puts pressure, on couples. And, if you think that if you're stressed about money, right, you're going to pick on your person, who's operating probably from a different value system. And it feels like they're acting like a jerk. They're probably not, right? But money brings out the best and sometimes the worst in us.
And on the worst, Stacy, it can also have an impact on your sort of psychology, your mental health and things like that, which then I think just sort of continues that vicious cycle, doesn't it?
You're absolutely right? That's a genius statement. And, think about it. There's nothing that says a good money, and like love, like a good money fight at 11 o'clock at night, right? You can't do anything about it. You can't talk about it. So now you're going to have a bad sleep.
Yeah.
You're going to go to work. You're probably going to Google debt consolidation. You're not going to be as productive. Now you're going to go home and be persnickety with your partner, right? And then the fight continues. So it's really tough to manage money and love.
Yeah. So, Stacy, how do you recommend, people watching this thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me and my partner. The only way to kind of get through our relationship is we go Dutch on everything. It reminds me of that scene from the Joy Luck Club when the husband would split like the cat litter, even though he bought her the cat.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Like, do you have separate accounts? Do you have a shared account? What's kind of the smart way to navigate it if you and your partner do feel differently about money, but other things are good in the relationship and you don't want to break up over money?
Well, and you know what? I mean, breaking up over money isn't always necessary. Now, sometimes it is, right? But there are ways to resolve it. The beauty about it is that while there's no right way to budget, there's also no right way to handle money in a relationship. So you handle it that works best for you as a couple. And for some, that's smushing it all together into one big joint account. For others, it's completely separate and the two never shall meet. And then there's often a hybrid, right, where there's a joint account for shared bills, but then you each have your own separate, right? There are lots of different ways to throw a rock, right, and still achieve the same goal. But the key is, I point to my mouth, it's talking, it's communication, and keep talking. And then when things get just too hard and you're ready to break up, come see a nonprofit credit counseling agency, right? We don't have a vested interest in your relationship. What we can do is just talk about the facts and the facts about money and share, especially with couples, that you're not alone, right? I've been married for 26 years and my goodness, if I can do this, anybody can do this.
Yeah, looking at the facts is definitely the way to do it, clear-eyed and sort of, without any strains. Okay, that is Money Mentor CEO Stacy Yanchuk Oleksy. Stacy, appreciate this insight this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Happy Valentine's.
And
You
to you
too.
as well. Yeah.